Okay, my name is Martin Ericson. I'm working at Ascom in headquarters in Sweden, and I'm doing course writing for Voice of Wi-Fi and also delivering courses. Most of the time it's trainer-trainer courses and internal people. I was asked by Keith to do something, and I decided that this is a concept that may need to be explained. So actually this picture tells you that I really like to be in water. So can anyone have a guess where this beautiful sunset is?
Finland.
Oh, Finland, of course. Oh. No, you don't have to go to Yucatan to have those kind of sunsets. This is Sweden, 10 minutes from home by boat in August. But we can also be on the water in the winter time. So actually, my idea with this slide was that actually you're seeing a Nordic ice skating team or a club union. We are skating on a lake. This is 2 weeks ago. And it's supposed to illustrate that this is a new open A 5 gigahertz area where you can go and roam wherever you like, and everything is fine. But actually, this will happen. You will be blocked by some regulations. In this case, there's a bridge for cars crossing over. And you will also be other devices that will stop you from going where you would like to go. And you can also see that people are queuing up here to get under that bridge, which can resemble packets queuing up. And the next one, it will be slow to get everyone through. And finally, if we go a little bit to the left, you will be out of game, so to say. You have to start to swim instead of going underwater. So DFS channels is all about that your radars are using this frequency. And if you go to the literature, check Cisco and other companies are writing something in their deployment guides, they don't very rarely talk about the client. They talk about what's happening in the access point, how long will it be not functional, how should the access point announce to the clients to disassociate or disauthenticate, and then the clients have to find a new channel after a while and so on. So weather radars comes in a lot of different disguise, and you can see here the one which is on near an airport where they have lift actually the dome over it, so you can see it inside. You can also see it in the plane there. Maybe not what you will find near your hospital, any one of those, but actually there's a list of the major airfields here in the US where you have to take care of this kind of strong radars they have for weather forecast. But the nice thing in the middle there, this Puma helicopter, has a lot of strong radars on it. And we will come back to that later. I know you all know what channels are affected that you have to look into DFS. And actually, it's more like our Wi-Fi system is creating patterns that looks like snow and rain on the radar screens. That's why we're blocking this, not because they will destroy our network.
And it's a legit,
yeah.
It's a legit thing, so they cannot filter that out.
Yeah, they have to have it. So to avoid this, they created this DFS stuff or radar avoidance, and APs need to have a hardware and software to deal with this, to detect its radars. Clients do not, because this will be more expensive, and what should the clients do if it detects a radar? Okay, I can't be on. So this is always in the access point. And this has a big consequence when it comes to roaming. I don't care if there's something which destroys my network because there was a radar in my neighborhood, because I can plan for that. But roaming will be always affected, because you can't do what is listed there on the bottom of the screen. I can't do active probing. I have to do passive scanning. And that's disastrous for roaming in some cases. So the question was actually yesterday, can DFS channels be used? And someone said absolutely. But the other answer could be actually it depends. Or other people are saying no. So the question that actually you should ask yourself are those 4 questions, for example. Are the applications sensitive for delays? Do I need fast roaming, for example? If it is a voice phone, can actually the users hear that the roaming is delayed? Or something goes wrong with the roaming? Or is this a security risk that you will eventually lose your connection or drop a call? Because of that you have to do passive scanning instead of probing. And the way the network may be designed may force you to use DFS channels because it was already in place when voice was introduced in the system. And then you ask the hospital or whatever it is, please redesign your network. We don't want DFS channels to be used. That's sometimes not an option. So just to make this clear for you, everyone knows, of course, what active scanning is. And the idea with this is it's very quick normally. That's why we're using it when you're in call. Active scanning depends on the client between 10 to 30 milliseconds per channel. So you check all your channels that your client is supposed to use, scan the first one, come back again, send a voice packet, scan the next channel, come back again and send a voice packet. That means that you are able to scan between your voice packets. And there's all a little bit delay depending on the implementation here and the processor and all that stuff. So, but when you have passive scanning, you need to pick up a beacon, which means that you have to wait for 100% to be sure that there's a beacon you hear. You have to wait at least 100 milliseconds. Then you have to add the switching time to go to the next channel. So if you're using 19 channels, which some people do, you just use your math there. You have up to 2 seconds to build your roaming table. That's a lot. So the idea here is that to reduce the amount of channels that you need to scan. This is something which I will not say what device this is, but this is a voice phone. So to be sure, just that you understand how a client works, how a client decide how to build the roaming table and when to start to probing, you have to ask the vendor something like this. So what you see here is that when you're idle and we are above -70, we do nothing. We just listen to the beacons on the channel where this handset was associated to. And if it drops below -70, it starts to scan actively. And in this case, does it repeatedly every 4 seconds. And if it finds something that is better than 6 dB than the one it was on, it's going to jump over to that one. And hopefully it will go back into the -60 area or something like that. And the scanning stops and we are roaming over to the new channel. If it drops below -73, in this case, we continues to scan, but we're then going to roam much faster, even in 3 dB difference. Because actually we're probably walking out of the cell coverage area here, so we had to accept anything which is not as good as we wanted, but a little bit better than the one we are on. In active call here, when we call, we are actually listening to beacons normally, but when we scan, we are scanning not as much, not that often in this case. It's 1 second longer, the scanning period here. But we also that's also not something introduced here, which is that when you turn a corner and just your signal strength drop dramatically, we introduce an extra scan quickly to be able to pick that up, so you're not getting stuck and trying to find where's the next access point, because you're not close enough to the next one yet. So this is something that you have to ask the vendor. How is your roaming algorithm implemented, so you will know how to do it. So for this now, to work on a DFS channel, you have to remove on the bottom page and on the top page everything which has to do with active probing. So we had to do passive scanning. So you are on the first 4 DFS channels, you are in active probing mode, and then you jump into the Uni 2 band. Oh, I had to start to do passive. And I can't send anything or transmit anything until I hear that there's traffic on that channel. And in most cases, it could be I'm hearing a beacon. Some vendors have tried to see if I hear someone else's traffic on that channel, I'm okay to start to transmit myself. And this is, of course, I'm going to authenticate on that new access point. So if you, for example, also go, for some reason, you have your phone in your pocket and you walk out of the building coming back again, you have to find an access point to join. You have the same problem, but it's going to take a little bit longer, maybe, to join your network again. And as you can see here, this phone does some stuff with the scanning or listening to the beacons. It's going to only do it for 70 milliseconds, not 100. And that will get with 70% chance to pick up the network. I know you all know this. You should study this and think about 40 megahertz channels. That's maybe not a good idea for voice over Wi-Fi phones. Or even 80 is going even worse. And if you are from Europe, half of that is gone nearly. So what can you do? Don't use DFS channels. Maybe you should have your voice phone on the G band instead, the 2.4. Get rid of everything else there. Put all the laptops on 5. Because most voice phones don't use 82.11n speeds anyway. They are one single stream devices. Or you can arrange your APs maybe so the most critical areas don't use the DFS channels for the A band. Or you can physically separate them in some fashion. We had an idea of having 2 access points on the A radio, close to each other, double your investment there, but you may be safe then. Read the documentation and see if there's some parameters that you can turn on to help this to function quickly. So design for your client, this is my message. Design for client, know your client, voice client. And don't do stupid things. This is a hospital in my home country. I'm not going to say where. Can you see the helicopter pad there? And there's this chopper coming in, and this is a rescue chopper from the mountain rescue team. It's only used when it's bad weather, picking up people who are in danger because of snowfall or a snowstorm or something. Do you think that this will have his radar turned on when it's landing on that helicopter pad? Before they tried to use voice over Wi-Fi phones, they were saying, oh, there's something bad with Wi-Fi, I will lose some, but it repairs itself, my laptop is back up again. They couldn't make a single phone call to call the distress team when this chopper was landing. Okay? So thank you very much. Think about this.